Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Unscripted for another installment of Best Bets. In today's Best Bets video, we'll be breaking down the odds and some of my favorite picks for day one of the LA Thieves home series, and as always, we will be doing things off the script. Before we hop into the bets and the odds, don't forget to leave a like down below if you enjoy. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the video, and if you're following along with me, if I'm helping you make some money, I'd love to hear that. Let me know down below. Also, let me know your best picks. I'd love to hear yours. Maybe we can get some advice from each other. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're enjoying the betting videos and want to see more videos like this one from me in the future, because they will definitely be here pretty much as I can possibly make them. Every day possible that I can get them out, they will be out. So I appreciate all of that. It really means a lot to me, and let's hop right in. Kicking us off tomorrow, we have the Toronto Ultra versus the LA Gorillas. As you see on the screen here, not a very even matchup, I guess you could say. Pretty lopsided here. Those records for each game mode, they are since the start of Stage 4. I think the sample size is probably big enough now where it can at least be somewhat relevant, so that's what I'm using. I think each of these teams has played, they've each played 3 series. Just look at the control. They've each played 3 controls, so 3 series. So Toronto 4-1 or 3-1 this series in their 4 hardpoint maps. LA Gorillas 0-5. I didn't even realize that until I was putting this video together. They actually have not won a hardpoint yet this series. I know they are bad at hardpoint. I know they've not been good at it all year. They're the worst hardpoint team in the league since Stage 1. I did not realize they haven't won one yet this stage. That is pretty rough. Search and Destroy, Toronto slowed down a little bit compared to where they're usually at. I mean, they are 2-2 so far in this stage. LAG 1-2. Search, probably their best game mode. Actually, I'd say definitely their best game mode. And Control, Toronto's best game mode usually. They're 1-2 so far in this stage. LAG also 1-2, but I do think that, as you see by the odds, Toronto definitely favored here in the Control. Just looking at this, though, it's about what you'd expect. I mean, Toronto known for being a good search team, but also LAG, that's pretty much their only strength, and that's not even that much of a strength for them. But I guess if they do have one, it's their search. That's why the odds for that map is a little bit closer, just because if LAG is going to take a map off of Toronto at some point, it definitely is most likely to be search, but Toronto is still favored there. So that's how the odds check up for this one. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised Toronto's not a bigger favorite in the hard point, just because I think this is one of those where LAG might get outslayed by 20-plus kills. Toronto should just put the pressure on them, not even let them breathe, get in their throats, and just demolish them. That's what I expect. Hopefully I'm right, because as you'll see later on in the bets, I do include map 1 into some of the bets. But that's the breakdown for this one. And I'm going to put all the bets at the end just because it's a lot of parlays and it includes both series. So rather than show the picks now, I will just do the next series and then show the picks all at once at the end. So that is the odds and the breakdown for Toronto versus LAG. And then we have Optic versus Seattle, another one that's kind of lopsided on paper. I guess you could argue not quite as lopsided, but still a clear favorite in this one. Optic also 3-1 in hardpoint so far this stage. Seattle, they are 3-2 in hardpoint, so that is promising for them. But when you look at the rest of their game modes, they actually have not won a map that is not hardpoint this stage. Also did not realize that when I was putting this video together. So they have played 3 series. They've won 3 maps. All 3 of them have been hardpoints. That's pretty cool, I guess. Good to see they have a game mode where they can at least get some wins in. But they got to get more than one game mode going. They have to get all 3 going if they want to start winning some series. And sorry, I have something in my eye. They have not done that. They have not won a search or a control yet this stage. And they have not won a control since I don't even know when. I feel like they have like 3 or 4 control wins all season long. On the other side, Chicago, they are 2-1 so far this stage in Search and Destroy, playing pretty well there. And then Control, they are 1-2. I thought they were going to beat Paris. They played Paris in their most recent series. I picked them. They included them in one of my bets. That bet lost. They did lose the Control to Paris, so that was a letdown. But they're still a pretty solid Control team. Across the board, Optic, I'd say the best way to describe them is solid. They're not really like elite, like up there with FaZe, Toronto, New York, and any of the game modes, but they're also not bad at any game mode either. Kind of like New York is with Control. They don't really have a major strength, but also not a glaring weakness. They're just sort of solid all around, and that's why the odds shake out the way they do. I mean, minus 240 in both the hardpoint and the search, and then Control a big minus 375. That, I would say, has more to do with Seattle's weakness in the mode than it does with Chicago's strength. Again, they're not a bad Control team, but Seattle is awful at Control. I mean, of any team and mode combination in the CDL, they are by far the worst. Seattle Control does not get worse than that. They've been terrible all season long, so that's why those odds shake out the way they do. Now we're going to move over onto the picks. So I got my account straightened out, which is cool. I told you guys last time I couldn't actually place the bets that I was putting out because of an issue with my account, but that is straightened out. But the problem is with Bovado, which is really the only site that I have available to me in the United States, you can't put cross series, or you can't put same series parlays. So like that, the middle bet here, I can't even place that myself. However, I am still throwing it in here because if you guys can place it, I would recommend it for you. It's basically like I can't do it, but if you can do it, I would take advantage of it because I like the odds, I like the way they shake out. But anyway, I can and I did place the first bet. Toronto minus 1.5 and Chicago minus 1.5. That comes out to plus 121. Bet $100, win 120, collect 220. I like Toronto minus 1.5 just because, like I was saying earlier, they're favored in all 3 maps, and if they could lose a search, but I really cannot see them losing a hard point or definitely not a control to LAG. So even if they lose map 2, which is the only map I can see them losing, they should have no problem covering this spread here. I would be very shocked if Toronto could not cover minus 1.5. I think 3-1 or 3-0 Toronto is the way to go in that one. Also threw in Chicago minus 1.5, just sort of because, like I was saying, they don't really have a weakness. Like, the control should be a given. The search should probably be a given. And then I guess technically they could lose both hard points and then maybe win the series 3-2. But I can't see Seattle beating Chicago in 2 hard points. 1, maybe. 2, no. So that's why I went minus 1.5 with both of them. I like the odds, and I think it's pretty likely to happen. That middle one, same thing like I've been saying. Toronto, the only map I can see them losing is probably map 2. So I decided to throw in map 1 and map 3. And then the odds on that, I thought there was more value. I think you get a little more out of it if you throw in Chicago map 3 at plus 110. So even though it's a 3-leg parlay, the odds are nothing steep because these things are so likely to happen. I think the least likely to them, according to the odds anyway, the least likely to happen is the Toronto map 1. I forget what, we just went over it. I forget what it was, but they're still strong favorites there. So, both map 3s, I feel like you can pencil them in right now. I would be very surprised if either Toronto or Chicago lost their controls in the matches. And then I would also be surprised to see Toronto lose the hard point just because, like I said, it mainly comes down to the slaying power. They should be able to just really outslay LAG and not even make it competitive in that regard. And then finally at the bottom, I did throw in Toronto to win 3-0. That's one that I wouldn't do like a full-size bet, just a small bet on that one. I actually did place a bet on that one. That's another one I actually did place. Plus 170, I like the odds there just because, again, if they're going to lose a map, it's going to be the search, and they still should probably win the search. Basically, from my perspective, map 1, map 3 are guarantees, essentially, and then they're better than plus 170 to win the search. So that's my thinking there. I think 3-0 is a good one. I definitely, if you want to hedge a little bit and bet 3-1 as well, go ahead and do that, but I really like the 3-0, and I think that's the most likely outcome there. I also did not throw it in here because it's 2 bets, but I did place a bet on both Chicago 3-0 and Chicago 3-1, knowing one of them is going to lose, but also being very confident that one of them will hit to make up the money and then make a little more off of it. So as long as one of those happens, I made the wager, so I guarantee myself a profit, and I am very confident that that is going to be the outcome, either 3-1 or 3-0. Either way, I'll be up a couple bucks on that one. So that's sort of where I'm at for these bets for these matches. I think if you're doing parlays, I would look at either of the controls and also that Toronto map 1. That whole entire middle bet. Break that up, throw it in somewhere. If you like something else, you want to get a little more value, throw one of those maps in there, because when you get longer leg parlays, even adding something that's very likely to happen still gives you some more value, and I think those are pretty much all very safe bets. So get creative, break these up however you want. I'm pretty confident about these picks, and we will see how it goes, but that Toronto 3-0 win, I would not really throw that in parlays because, like I said, they could lose that search. You don't want to lose your parlay because your team lost one map, so a little bit of risk there, but again, higher risk, higher reward. We know how that works. So that's going to do it for this bets video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on these bets and your thoughts on the matches. And subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more betting videos like this one from me in the future. I really appreciate all that. It means a lot to me as you help me grow my channel. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoy the matches. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.